Pops and Emily's. I'm just gonna stand back here. I don't like it up there. Do you guys have anything?
Yes.
Okay.
Infectious disease. When the Giardia dog got put in the dog room and the kennel got wiped out, but there was still puppy poop on the door, and they were gonna put another dog in there without bleaching it. Not a good idea. Then we're just gonna have a Giardia outbreak. We don't wanna do that.
Which leads me to one of my issues on here is when there's a pet in the kennel and they've soiled the kennel, we need to clean it instead of just moving kennels and leaving the poop there for later in the afternoon. So if that happens, we can put a set of gloves in there if that helps you guys a little bit, but we need to be better about kennel management and getting that poop out of there. Okay. Anything else? No. Which that leaves me to, there's one other, morning treatments. After we do the treatment, instead of putting them in a different kennel, we need to clean that kennel so that we have it available for other pets. Because it seems like we're getting a lot of drop off. So if we can clean those, and then every treatment, that pet should have a new blanket or fleece in there. So, and we should be wiping it down too, because if they pee and we just throw a new fleece in there, it's just getting that all dirty. Okay. I don't know if you guys noticed, I sure didn't until Roger said something, but the back door window is fixed. See, I'm not the only one. Perfect. He hung the phones up, I think 2 days ago. So if you guys think, I think he has one more wall mount. So if you guys think there's one that needs to be hung up, or you don't like one where it is, just let me know and we can discuss that. Yesterday, was it yesterday? I don't know. One of the days we had a meeting with UpBook, so the calls are being recorded now. So make sure when you guys answer the phone that you're saying your name and you're saying it clearly, because we have a Kendra and a Sandra, which I'm pretty sure is Chandra. Yeah, and then there's I think 2 other ones on there that there's no name, or we just they couldn't understand it. So make sure you're saying your name clearly. In time, we will get you guys all logins. Do you guys get anything in your email? Put your guys' email in there. Nothing? Okay. In time, you guys will get an email so you know how to log in, and then you'll be able to see like your rating and then the top person's rating. And then you'll be able to listen to your calls. The nice thing about the calls is they will, if you answer the phone and it wasn't a new client or is a new client, and I can go in there and modify so it would like change your percentage on there, and then we can like make special notes and stuff on it. It's kind of a neat program. There is an incentive program, but we're just waiting for the upgrade, which could be in 4 to 6 weeks. We don't really know. So when that comes out, I'll let you guys know. And then there's like Amazon gift cards. There's like 15 different cards that you guys can choose whatever you want, and then you just, I don't know, they must mail it to us here or something. I'll have to ask. Hopefully next weekend we'll get her on the phone and she can do the meeting for us and go over the website and how to use it. But it seems pretty simple, and then she'll just fill in all the details. Okay. Jay, did you have anything this morning?
Yes. I was just gonna remind everybody to, if we're doing the exam note, just to make sure that you're putting in the microchip number, or at least scanning them. I've been getting like, I would say almost 90% of my records aren't having a microchip in there. So if it doesn't have one, if you could just write no, but I've gone back in the record and seen that they actually do have a microchip. So if we could put that on there, as well as like the diet. Some of my records have not had any of the diets on there. Because I know we're trying to keep everything a lot more succinct and fast when we go in. I know some of the techs are still doing some of like the pulse and respiration, and if you feel like you can do that fast enough and that's what we decide to do, that's fine. But just remind us if we're doing that we still need to get the temperature, because if I see that, and we're still learning and adjusting to that, remind us that we need to get the temperature. And some of the exams when we're kind of following a pet around and around and around the room, and you see us do that, if you could just please help us restrain the pet a little bit better, it'll really, really cut down on time of us trying to do things. I feel like a lot of times we kind of just go round and round, and it would just be really helpful if we have the tech there with us actually restraining and holding the pet for us. So that's just one of my things that I've noticed, that would be super helpful. And I think that's it. Those are just a few things that I had written down. So
One of the things for exams, we've had a lot of drop-offs. There's no reason we can't get to them sooner than the afternoons. 11 o'clock is dead around here, and so text you guys, if you're not in a room, go start getting those TPR'd and getting notes in, and if there's a doctor available, perfect, we can get them. If not, we can wait till the afternoon, but there's no reason why we can't be getting those started sooner. So
And you can start an exam note too. That's
Yeah.
one of the things I run into with the drop-offs. You can
yes,
always change the doctor number on it. It's really easy to do, so if you're not sure who's gonna see it, just put hospital. But if you do that TPR, go ahead and start that exam note, put in that TPR, it really helps later.
I've noticed that x-ray room gets really messy, so if you guys take x-rays, take the gown off, put it back on the rack, it takes 2 seconds instead of just throwing it on the table. Same thing for the racks, instead of just leaving the racks laying on the table or on the floor, if we can hang them back up and try to keep that stuff nice and not break it. I understand if you guys are doing dental and you have 2 of the same size pets and you just wanna leave that rack on the CT, that's totally fine. I don't see a problem, but it's been kind of messy back there, I've noticed. And then the last thing is we've been having lots of kennel cough, so I think we need to be really good about client education at the front counter and also in rooms. So if they're not vaccinated, I think we need to be letting them know that we've been having outbreaks. I don't know if you want to touch base on that or have anything to chime in, you guys. If there's anything specific you want said or
maybe if we're dealing with one too, we change our jackets or really kind of try to wipe off. I know, and again, we don't know what agent we're dealing with, but this was just one incident, and I don't know if it has anything to do with this or not, but Jordan was house sitting, and we noticed that she was the only change for that pet, and they came in and they had kennel cough too. And so I don't know if whatever agent it is, if it's staying on our clothes a little bit longer. But that pet hadn't been anywhere at all, like house ridden, and so it had the same signs, and they came in on Friday. So I'm wondering if it is something that is maybe sticking around a little bit longer and not just from
And
the quick
you
aerosolization.
can take it, carry it on your clothes, right? That I've
Yeah,
always been
I think,
told.
yeah, more so than
With
what I think is
kennel,
odd.
the kennel care stuff, if we just like spray ourselves real quick.
I would,
Yeah.
especially if you're with an animal that's potentially contagious. I'd spray their pants, and I even change my jacket several times in a day. So,
You guys have
washing
been
your hands.
doing a good job kind of keeping them like in certain
Isolated, yeah.
rooms and
It's good.
Yeah.
in the car and stuff, so good job there.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the simple things like try to keep them from rubbing their nose on your pants, and that can be hard. But you might see me look at them like this. I'm like, oh yeah, you're sick, stay away. Don't touch me.
there.
Yeah.
Don't lick us.
Don't lick me.
Anything else?
So I just have a little packet. Are we done with our
Yeah.
other stuff? I just have a little packet. Southern Oregon dropped off. Mallory grabbed it yesterday. I'll just pass it around so everybody can take a quick peek at it. But it's from the Southern Oregon Veterinary Specialty Center. It sounds like they're getting really busy too. So they are trying to help clients be a little bit more prepared when they go over there. So they have a little referral form they want us to fill out along with our records.
Is that for any pet, like going down for like a consultation, or is this more emergency basis?
Emergency, she said emergency, any pet that's going, they would also expect a call if you could, but all of this has to be filled out on all our records. Because they're just, extremely busy.
So if we do like a consultation for like internal medicine or oncology or something like that, they want that filled out as well.
If
Okay.
all this back form, when you
I
pass
can
it,
pass it around.
you get to check if it's sternum or anything. They
Okay.
have spots to check for it at the top.
Are we gonna have that just a lot of extra with us?
She gave us a lot, and we can put them in the joy and just keep reprinting them. But
Okay,
We can save it to clinic forms and documents too, so everybody knows where it is.
Cool.
And then their medical director, they used to have Step Down, and it's a new one on the bottom is the name of it.
And the thing too with these guys, just so everybody knows, if you guys send records over, like records, x-ray, lab work, if you guys could give them like 20 minutes and call, because I've felt bad for some of our clients. We've sent x-rays over and they end up taking x-rays again because they never got ours, and it's like, okay, I specifically sent it, you guys could have called us and asked us, but if we can just call and verify, then I would just note that in the system. That way the client can't get mad at us for that.
I think that's what they're probably trying to fix, because that's happened many times where I sent records and I've actually physically like printed something and handed it to the client and said, have this with you in case
Yeah.
you need it. So
And the one thing
maybe
too
this
is
will help.
our x-rays go to their DICOM, so
yeah.
that's one thing we might have to tell them is they need to check their DICOM. And that might be different from other clinics, but it sounds like they were trying to get it all switched over that way. Anything else?
I had just one other really quick thing, and I know we don't deal with it all the time, but last night I came in I just had this inclination, like I better go check that bulldog, and I got down here and I was so thankful because she was overheating again. She was like 104 and just had been panting a lot, so I got all of her bedding out. I think those thick fleeces might be on those bulldogs trapping too much heat. I'm not sure if that was her only deal, but I got her down on the floor and got her cooled off, got the fan on. I was like searching around. I'm like, I'm gonna look like a crazy person here searching for fans, but got her cooled down. So maybe before we leave, if they look like they're panting excessively, and I kind of been keeping an eye on her. She was starting to pant when I left, and so that's why I came back. I was like, I don't know if this is just pain, and she got up around 104 again. So I ripped the other fleece out of the pallet that we did too. He seemed calm, but I was like, I'm just gonna take yours out too, and just gave him a little towel. So
Well, the problem is with the towel, if you wash them, they can't stand up, and that's why I put the fleece in there. So somewhere around here, we have yoga mats.
yeah, I was looking for the orange thing last night, and I could not find it. I was gonna put that orange pad thing down.
Can find it, you let me know.
Maybe be
but-
like stuck behind that big kennel if you have her all the way.
Oh, okay, because I looked in the ultrasound area. Oh.
Good job, Jen.
Yay.
And we used to have yoga mats. Do you know? Do we still have them?
I haven't seen
Maybe we could get a few. That would, we could cut them even to fit to certain kennels if we could get some cheap.
Maybe today we could tear the place apart and see if we can find them before we go by, because I know we had them.
Well, we can search the attic, just like we did for all the other stuff.
You go ahead and search the.
Was you been used before
You're
at
little.
other clinics, like those dish mat, like, not the solid ones, but the ones that are just like a
Little
netting
Oh,
almost?
yeah.
And we use
That
those
And
just
those are
to
cheap.
prevent
Yeah.
slipping.
Those are on the bottom
Yeah,
of
those are super cheap.
those little white roll out with the paw prints on them.
But those seem slippery to me.
Yeah.
They don't seem like
Yeah.
those can get traction. Yeah.
They stay on the table.
Yeah, they do.
Not
Yeah.
anything else.
The dog actually slips on the top.
Yeah.
So if we can't find anything, let me know. I can go get some.
Because I think what you're talking about, that comes in like a roll that you could get like Home Depot or
Yeah,
something
like a
cheap, and
huge
they
roll.
just
Yeah, like the rolling that you put under carpets.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's more.
Yeah, for, like,
a
rugs.
not dish thing, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how well that would work on my own though. I don't have a lot of success with it on my wood floors, so
Yeah, makes
I just don't think it would work on metal.
Oh, it worked on my wood floor, but it kept coming out, so I threw it away.
Yeah. Which means it's not staying in place properly, but keeps
No,
coming out.
The dogs, they go running out and they're idiots. So.
Yeah,
Anything
I
else?
know.
Anybody? Nothing? Alright, I guess we'll meet with you, Bethany.
Okay.
You all ready?